Like I say, the DeLorean. Well, the DeLorean is basically a 1920s car. I came out with it somewhere around 1920s, and they sold really well. They were really much better than the American counterpart cars. And like I said, there was a lot of other stuff like the Pinto and other stuff, and they sucked. Like American cars just sucked. That's all there is to it. Like I said, I was the leader. The first person to ever pay for like the unibody construction or monobody, basically this epic inventor of the past, pretty much. And pretty much the guy as DeLorean, well, I mean, he might have been doing some stuff in Europe and other stuff. I mean, basically they were all my epic projects. And it comes out that all these people, they're basically just drug dealers and people just like living high on life. Yeah. Well, I'm initiating the crash tests, because I want a safe car, better breakable windows and all that stuff with the, I invent the plastic. I'm like, well, let's sandwich some plastic in there and see what that does. That way it won't shatter quite the same. And it turns out to really work really good. And I'm basically creating an industry. I have safe cars, the windshields don't just break and blast glass into your face, and they don't put glass anywhere else. They're pretty safe windows, and we're doing a lot of crash tests, and it's pretty expensive. I'm also like building aircraft carriers and power plants and hydro dams, and basically, I've been doing all this stuff. And then it comes out that pretty much that what or what you see on TV is pretty much bullshit. It's all lies. All it is lies. Some guy going, oh yeah, our industry, oh yeah, over my 20 years, oh, and it's like, well, you can actually go back and look, and like in 1920s, there's a DeLorean. The DeLoreans have been around so long that their bodies actually rusted out, and they were scrapped like 10 years ago. And then we come out with the DeLorean again, and the DeLorean's actually the first car that actually created. And it's not DeLorean. It's actually a Lucifer or Lotus or whatever car. Is my first supercar, basically. And everything like ties into me because I am the one who wanted safe cars. I'm the one who spent a lot of money. Panama and naming America and everything else like that. And you find out that a lot of this stuff on TV is actually just like complete and total bullshit and just people going, yeah, I like that shit. Come on, sit on my dick. And pretty much says what it amounts to. While I'm trying to stamp out, to get rid of diseases and bacteria, and I've basically been working really hard to kill Ebola, and I'm planning on dropping China. I mean, not China. I mean, Japan. The whole island. There's a giant coal mine underneath. There's a giant, huge coal seam underneath Japan, and the island's starting to settle. We knew about it, and we mined it out a long time ago. And there's this great big cavern under there that's like 30 feet tall, or 100 and something feet tall, and like we're planning on just going the whole island. And we're planning that, and there's a German and a what's it called England report on dropping the whole Japan island basically. And there's a problem of it. What if it drops differentially? We have to drop it uniformly. And there's giant concrete caissons down there, or something, concrete blocks and stuff, and we did it, and it started to shatter and crush over the last thing, and they're like, well, over the next 500 years or 400 years, it's going to crush and settle and collapse, pretty much. And we need to drop it anyway, because there's the coal seam goes more underneath China, and we can get it down there, and we want to switch from water mining, because we were water, because of the first shafts or whatever, when we drained the oil out of the whole place, because coal and water kind of go together. So we drained all the oil out, or sucked all the oil out, and then those shafts are causing a problem because water's coming through them. And I think we eventually sealed them or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but basically we're mining that, and then we're going to drop the island. We drop the island eventually pretty soon, and that's all planned like over the last couple 100,000 years or whatever. Anyway, I'm like this monumental, this like, like Lucifer's star. Mines from Germany to Japan to America. Builder of the Titanic, the Bismarck, the Olympic, and basically world leader in flight and aircraft and even stars. And pretty much everything on TV, most people find out, it's all bull. I was paying these people to do all this stuff. These people are like, yeah, well, and it's basically just a whole bunch of people, and there's all these other people that are just like, who gives a fuck? Just like give it up, bitch. And pretty much just, yeah, the problem with the DeLorean release was pretty much they went cheap on it. They didn't give a fuck. The windows leaked like crazy, and I had already built the car before, and they're releasing it as a new car, saying, "Oh yeah, it's a new car." It's not gonna believe it. It's like, we built Lotus, Lamborghini, and I basically created the car industry, and like in 1950s, they're like, "It'll do. It's good." And I'm the industry basically, and there's all these people that just don't really care, and I'm trying to feed and clothe and put shoes on everybody on the planet, just because I'm that rich and I'm that powerful. And I'm like, well, it should be possible. We just got to start. And Germany's helping out with it. Russia's helping out. China's helping out. Japan's helping out. And Nixon's just like, space dust. That's what the stars are. And you get all this crap that's just like, and you find out that like your leaders or the leaders you thought were like these great, powerful, wonderful men, they're all just bullshit liars. They killed a bunch of Germans or a bunch of English and basically lied their ass off. And it's just like, and they're actually living on like drug money. They're flying the Concorde for free. They're not doing a bit of work other than basically just telling people to do what I want them to do. And pretty much they don't give a fuck, and Nixon's actually planning on killing everybody anyway. So, and then Rodney's like, yeah! And Pat's like, and it's just like, oh. And Nixon's like, it's the drug dealers. Meanwhile, we're digging, we're mining, we're creating an industry, we're doing space travel, we're launching satellites, and so many people find out that, 90% of the world is just bullshit. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, well, you're lied to. It was all a big lie. Nixon and some other people, they just did this big lie. Anyway, whatever, I can't rationalize or rectify your crazy existence where basically it's just a bunch of people pretty much, and they're basically just lying about 90% of it, and just paid people or whatever, I know what I know basically, but it's like, and I'm the one who's like, hey, they're gonna kill you all, it's and I'm the one that actually alerts people, and like I work with the Irish, and I work with the old Russians and other stuff like that, and we moved to try and I work with Germany, and we stopped Nixon from blowing up the world for the most part, at least for a while. Anyway, and you find out that and Nixon's going around going, I'm a hero. It's like, he's not a hero. He's actually JFK, and he's a psychopath. And anyway, there's just so many lies and so much bullshit that's like ridiculous.